You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Some relationships they just click. Easy, warm.
Yeah, totally effortless.
But then others.
Yeah.
Wow, it feels like you're walking through a minefield maybe. Why is that so different?
It's such a common puzzle. And, well, often the answer is deep inside us. It's about our fundamental need to connect.
Okay, let's get into that. For this deep dive, we're looking at the book Attached by Dr. Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. We've sifted through summaries and reviews to pull out the main ideas for you.
Yeah, and our goal here is really to understand how this need for attachment, which the book argues is like a basic survival thing hardwired in us, how it shapes our love lives as adults, and what that tells us about finding, fulfilling connections.
What really struck me is how attachment theory, which you usually hear about with, like, parents and kids.
Right, the classic idea.
Yeah, how it applies directly to us as adults in our romantic relationships. It's not just psychological fluff. It's described as almost a genetic thing, pushing us to seek closeness for, well, safety.
Absolutely, and this need, it has real effects, like physically and emotionally. Sources mention studies showing secure bonds can literally reduce stress. Remember that finding about women holding their partner's hand? Less anxiety.
Wow.
But on the flip side, if those needs aren't met, it can cause actual physical strain. Think higher blood pressure, things like that.
So it's not just in our heads at all. It's body stuff, too. And the book has this fascinating idea, the dependency paradox.
Ah, yeah, that one's interesting.
It suggests that depending on a partner, having those needs met isn't weak. It actually makes you more independent and secure in the long run, both of you.
Exactly. It turns that whole don't be needy idea on its head.
Yeah.
And Attached basically sorts these patterns into three main adult styles: secure, anxious, and avoidant.
Okay, let's break those down. What does secure look like day to day?
Right. Secure folks are generally comfortable with intimacy. They're warm, loving, feel pretty confident in their relationships. And importantly, they're good communicators. They can say what they need, and they respond well to their partner's needs. Conflict isn't terrifying. They handle it, constructively, trusting.
Sounds pretty good, kind of the goalpost. What about anxious?
Anxious types really crave that closeness, that intimacy, but there's often this undercurrent of worry. Is my partner really into me? Are they going to leave? They can be super sensitive to tiny shifts in behavior.
Like reading into things.
Maybe, yeah. And sometimes they might act out a bit, sort of protest behavior to get reassurance. Relationships can take up a lot of their mental space.
Okay. And the third style, avoidant.
Avoidants really value their independence.
Yeah.
Self-sufficiency is huge for them. Too much closeness can feel uncomfortable.
So that keeps some distance.
Yeah, keep partners maybe at arm's length. Sharing deep feelings, that's tough. And they can be really quick to feel like someone's trying to control them or invade their space.
Okay, this is where it gets really insightful, I think. How these styles interact.
Yeah.
Because that explains so much friction.
Totally. Like, sources mention that anxious people might sometimes find themselves drawn to partners who are emotionally unavailable. It's like the inconsistency, the mixed signals.
It creates drama.
Or intensity. Yeah, that intensity gets mistaken for passion or deep connection, maybe because their attachment system is firing on all cylinders. That anxiety feels like strong chemistry.
And the avoidance.
Well, they might sort of hold out for this perfect, idealized soulmate instead of really investing in a real person, flaws and all. Chasing that fantasy can be a way to keep vulnerability at bay, Keep that safe distance.
Which leads us right into that classic painful pattern, the anxious avoidant trap.
Oh, yeah. Super common, super difficult. The anxious person needs reassurance, needs closeness. That pushes the avoidant person's buttons, making them want space, so they withdraw.
Which then panics the anxious person more.
Exactly. It confirms their worst fear, abandonment. So they pursue harder for connection, which just makes the avoidant person pull back even more. It's this awful feedback loop. Chasing an avoidant usually pushes them further away.
Ugh. So how do you deal with that? Or just generally build better connections? Communication seems huge in the book.
Absolutely key. Like direct, clear, non-blaming ways of talking. Using I feel statements, focusing on the issue, not attacking the person. Secure couples kind of do this instinctively. They want resolution, they stay connected even when disagreeing, they prioritize the relationship.
Right, not doing things like kitchen sinking, throwing every past problem into one fight.
Exactly that, or just shutting down completely. Though it's worth noting, even secure people can get stuck sometimes, maybe overgiving or not setting good boundaries.
Okay, so the million-dollar question. Can people change these styles? Are you stuck?
Well, the styles tend to be pretty stable, but the consensus is yes, they can change. Self-awareness helps, obviously,
Yeah.
making a conscious effort. But a big factor highlighted is being in a relationship with a secure partner. They call it the secure buffering effect.
Like their security roughs off, or provides a safe space to change.
Something like that. It provides a model and a stable base. Though some critiques do mention the book might maybe simplify how much effort it takes, or make it sound easier than it is to, like, change your partner just by wanting it.
Good point. And it's a model, right? 3 styles is helpful, but maybe doesn't capture every single person's unique experience perfectly.
For sure. It's a useful lens, not, a definitive label you're stuck with forever.
So, wrapping up this deep dive on attached, it really gives us this powerful way to look at ourselves, our partners, our relationship patterns through this idea of attachment.
Definitely. Understanding your style and maybe your partner's style, it can be like a map. Helps you see why certain challenges keep coming up and helps you make choices about who you connect with and how you build those bonds.
And it leaves us with a final thought to chew on. If this deep need for connection, even when it feels messy, is actually wired into us for survival, what if the path to feeling secure and happy in love isn't about hiding that need? What if it's about fully accepting it and learning to communicate it clearly?